All right. Hi, everybody. When all else fails, always have a backup plan. So I had just gone live on Facebook, like using Facebook Live, and Facebook Live hiccuped and said, nope, no live for you. I don't want you to do a live. And so here I am on StreamYard, and I should have probably used StreamYard in the first place anyway. So how is everybody? It's early. I haven't done my full routine yet. I slept in today, guys. I slept in until 7:30 in the morning, which for me, many people know I get up at 5 every day. So I'm still kind of like getting into my morning. How are you guys doing? If you're here, say hi. You're going to notice that in order for me to see your name, the instructions are above. You have to authorize StreamYard. I think it's streamyard.com/Facebook. And that'll be the way that I know that you say hi. So say hello so I know that you're here. I'm excited to talk about today. Today's topic is really cool because I've been getting a lot of emails about it. Okay, so how many of you have seen? How many of you have seen these cryptic posts that are going up that are like, "Good morning, Ronalyn. Good morning." How many of you have seen these cryptic posts that are like July 26th, 2020, like 7/26/20? Are you in? And then it just is like, click here and register if you're in. How many of you have seen them? How many of you have done them? Like, how many of you have oh, okay. Now, Ronalyn, can you still see me? Because now Facebook is telling me that, nope. Okay. All right, cool. Whatever. Facebook is being weird. StreamYard is being weird. Technology is being weird, but I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling with it. Okay, so how many of you have seen those posts? Okay, this is actually going to be my bonus podcast episode. So I'm telling my podcast editor, like, start from here. Okay, like, start from here. So many of you have seen, I know, the post because a lot of you have registered. So if you've registered, tell me that you've registered. But there have been cryptic posts going up about July 26th. So it says 7/26/20, are you in? Or 7/26/20, are you all in? Or and then it directs you to a website, right? So you go to this website, and the links are in the show notes. If you're listening on the podcast, I'll put the link in the comments here. But the website, right, that you go to says very little about what it is. Basically, the website tells you what July 26th is not. And it tells you that you don't need a penny, right? This July 26th event, that's what I'm calling it, the July 26th event. You don't need a penny. You don't have to be available at a specific time on a specific day. You're not making any specific time commitment at all. You technically don't even have to have a business, although it will be a lot easier if you have a business or something that you're moving forward. Just because of my theme, right? I'm talking about businesses, but you don't have to have a business, right? What you do need to be willing to do is just take the actions to change your life, right? So that's all it says. So how many of you knowing that it doesn't cost a penny, that there are no specific time commitments, that you don't even really need to have a business, but all you have to do is have an excitement and a willingness to want to, like, change your life, change your business, go all in on your dreams. How many of you have signed up for that based on that? Say yes. Tell me in the comments. And if you're watching on replay, say yes, I have signed up for the July 26th event. How many of you have not seen information about the July 26th event? And then how many of you have not signed up? I'm very curious, right? And I did a post at the beginning of this week because I've had, I don't know, maybe like 30 or 40 of you have signed up for the July 26th event so far. We're going to get to a little bit about that later. I'm going to give a little more info, and I'm also going to say something that really surprised me about it so far. But 40 people have signed up just based on the information that I've told you. Okay, so that's it. Just 40 people have signed up just off the information. They have as much information as you do right now, right? But I've also gotten emails from people saying, this is weird. I need you to tell me what it is. Like, I want to do it, but I'm not going to do it until I know exactly what it is. I want to know what it involves. I want to know what the commitments are. Can you tell me? Okay, so these are like the two emails that I'm getting. Some are, I'm really super excited about the July 26th event. I have no idea what this is, but I registered. And then the other is like, Rita, this sounds really cool, but I really need more information before I sign up and before I say yes. Okay. So Ronald's like, I'm the type of person who needs to know the details before jumping into anything. LOL. Right. So I think the one thing that most people can agree on is that something is happening on July 26th, right? But then you do fall into, there are actually 3 camps. So I want you to pay attention and type in the comments to which camp you fall into. Okay, so camp, just put the number after I say the camp. There are 3 camps, okay? Camp number 1, you saw it and you disregarded it because it's too unconventional. It really probably can't be anything big that would really advance you towards your business, because that would have details, and you need some details, and so the lack of details is keeping you from registering, so you just don't register. That's camp number 1. So if that's you, put number 1. Number 2 is you saw it, you had no idea what it's about, but you totally felt called to participate. Like, you're really excited. You registered, which is declaring your commitment. It's really uncomfortable, but like the mystery around what it is really exciting. And what can happen for you, right? The idea of going all in and really changing your life or your business, like that has you super excited. So if that's you, type 2 in the comments, right? So number 1 are the people who saw July 26th, then said, there's not enough info. I really need info to be participating in something. I'm not going to sign up. That's camp 1. Camp 2 is, I saw it. I don't really know what it's about. I read the information. It sounds exciting. It's all uncomfortable, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it. And I'm really excited. That's camp number 2. So if you're camp number 2, type number 2 in the comments. And then we've got camp number 3. Okay. And camp number 3 is, you saw it. Same thing. You had no idea what it's about, but you felt called to participate. It felt exciting. And then it felt uncomfortable. And then you started to regret it. And then you started regretting signing up. The lack of clarity around what's happening. So you're signed up, you're ready to go, but the lack of clarity around what's happening has you impatient. It has you uncomfortable. It has you feeling a little bit fearful, maybe a little bit distrusting. You're kind of doubting your decision to have signed up for the July 26th event. And you're like, I think I'm going to like no longer participate. I just think I'm not going to participate in it anymore. And you're just kind of uncertain that something like this could actually have a meaningful impact in your life, right? So camp 1, camp 2, or camp 3. I want you to type it in the comments. And if you're watching on replay, type it in the comments. So I want you to pay really close attention to which camp you're in, okay? And I say that because the way that you're reacting to this, most likely, now obviously, right, I'm talking in generalities, but the way that you're reacting to this most likely shows you a pattern that is affecting the growth of your business, okay? So, well, I'm going to go into that in a minute, but just like write down what camp you're in. And I'm curious, how do you think it might be affecting the growth of your business? So Ronlyn, you say you're camp 1. You need to know the information. You need to have all the details before you'll do something, right? How do you think that that may be influencing or affecting the growth of your business? I'm curious. You don't have to answer, but if you want to answer that in the comments, that would be great, right? Because here's the deal, right? Like, your reaction to that is going to show you the way that you react to a lot of different things in your business. And as we talked about last week, especially, being an entrepreneur requires risk taking. It requires taking action before you know the full plan. It requires taking action before you know what the results are, before you even know what the results are supposed to be, right? It requires you doing things before you even know much about them at all, right? For success. Like, that is the definition of entrepreneurship, is risk taking. You risk take financially mainly, but you actually aren't an entrepreneur if you're not taking risks financially. The definition of entrepreneur is taking financial risks, right? Making financial risks. So do you see what I'm saying about how you react to this may show how you're approaching other things in your business that either are propelling you forward or holding you back? Does that make sure? Holding you back. And so I would love to challenge you, if you're feeling like Ronalyn just said, I'm sure it's holding me back, taking risks in my business. And you're not alone, Ronalyn, right? Like, a lot of people are like, I need to know the full plan. But even when they take the action, people are like, I need to know the full plan. So for example, they'll be like, Rita, I want to get fully booked. I want to get fully booked and I want to have a waiting list. And I'm like, okay, great, cool, fully booked with a waiting list, great. But then they want to know exactly the plan for how they're going to do it. Or they're like, Rita, I want to make 6 figures in my business, or multiple 6 figures. Or I have some clients that want to make 7 figures. And they're like, Rita, I need to know step by step, turn by turn, how we're going to do this. Okay. I need to know everything, how we're going to do it. I need to know all the steps, all the plans. I need to see it, right? Like a map. Like I need all of the directions to get to the destination, right? And that's just not the way success works. And that's not the way business works, right? You've heard me say this before. But what you have to really do to reach the end goal, and it sounds counterintuitive, but I promise it's not, is let go of how. You have to let go of how, and to a certain extent, you let go of when, right? You just have to be certain that the end result is coming. So like, if it's making 6 figures, or if it's being fully booked with a waiting list, or whatever it is, you have to be certain that that end result is coming. But you can say, I don't know when, and I don't know how, and I'm okay with that, because then your job, right? Your job becomes showing up at a level of a person who already has those results. So like if you want to make 6 figures in your business, right? And you can let go of how you make 6 figures in your business, right? You can show up as a 6-figure business owner. How does that person show up? How are they talking? What are they doing? How are they acting? What are they wearing, right? Like, how are they feeling? How are they spending their day? All of that. That's your only job. Now, obviously, I help my clients put together a strategy to get 6 figures or get fully booked with a waiting list or hit 7 figures, right? But what I mean from unattached is, could the like I'm trying to make 7 figures in my business, right? That's Rita's thing. I've shared this in my podcast a million times. Like I'm a 7-figure business owner. I don't know when, and I don't know how, right? But I'm a 7-figure business owner. Okay. All right, cool. But I have a strategy, guys. Like I have a plan, right? Like I have a strategy. But being unattached means I know, could my 7 figures come from my strategy? Sure. Could I also go outside my door and all of a sudden there's going to be some person waiting in my parking lot who's like, Rita, I watched you on Facebook and I think you're incredible. And I want to hire you as my private coach for the whole next 5 years of my life. And I'm going to pay you multiple millions of dollars to do it. Like, could that happen? Yes. Like I'm totally open to that. Right. So if I'm attached to my plan and how I get to the end result, I miss out on all of the other ways that that same result could come to me. And what happens, the reason that's dangerous is when you think your plan is the way to get to the result, when you think that the plan is the way to get to your result, what happens is when things don't start going according to plan, or when you're not seeing results from the things that you're doing, like you, maybe part of your strategy is to do a Facebook Live and people don't hop on the Facebook Live, right? What'll happen is that you'll be like, that's not working. See, my plan's not working, and you'll bail on the plan. Does that make sense? Hi, miss you. I miss you too. I don't know who you are though, because it just says Facebook user. If you want me to see who you are, guys, if you're watching this and you want me to see your comments and know who said them, you have to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and just hit OK so it can read your name from Facebook, and then I'll know it's you. Or you can just type it and tell me who you are. But I'm 100% positive I miss you too. But I just don't know who you are because it just says Facebook user. So please let me know. But does this make sense, right? So this July 26th event, which I still have not told you what it is, right? I really want you, if you're normally in camp 1, if you're normally the kind of person that needs to know the full plan, if you need to know every detail, if you need to know whatever, there's a reason why that's happening. And we're going to talk about that, right? But I really want to challenge you for the rest of the video to think, and the rest of this live or podcast, if you're listening on the podcast, right? I want you to really challenge that thinking and challenge yourself to sign up for the July 26th event, even without knowing the details, even without knowing the plan, okay? And same for you if you fell into camp 3. If you saw posts about the July 26th event and you're like, I'm so excited about it, but then with lack of details, right? Because I posted about it 7 days ago and people haven't gotten anything more than their you're in email, right? More information is coming, but it hasn't come yet. You start getting uncomfortable, right? And you want to bail. Those 2 camps, the camp 1 and camp 3, you really need to watch out because they're tied to something deeper that we're going to talk about that could be impacting why you're not taking risks and why you're not growing, right? Okay, so really, truly, right? everything that has happened in my business, like, took risks, right? So I want you to think, hold on, I'm going to back up for a minute. I know I'm scattered, but I'm going to back up for a minute because I want to share with you how this also impacts non-risk taking. So maybe it's something that you're just doing already, right? So again, it's that idea that if you want a client and you have a plan, I talked about this last week, so I don't know how many of you were on about stop doubting yourself, right? This is a little bit of doubting yourself. So it's gonna transition into what's going on that will cause you to fall into one of those camps, right? But the idea is, and I've got these notes, I want to make sure, because there's a story that I really, really, really want to share with you, and I want to make sure not to not share the story with you. But that's the idea, that if you want to get a client, okay, you want to get a client, and you need to know the way, you're going to start looking for evidence of every action you take. Okay, how many of you are looking for evidence in the strategies that you're employing? I'm kind of curious about that. If that's you, say yes. Are you looking for evidence in the strategies you're employing? Meaning, if you've decided that a newsletter is the way that you're going to get a client or become fully booked, are you looking for evidence that the newsletter is working? Are you looking at your open rates? If you don't have high enough open rates, if you put in a reply and let me know and people aren't replying, are you deciding that that's evidence that it's not working? If you're using social media to get your clients or to grow your business, and people aren't engaging on social media, they're not sharing your posts, they're not commenting, have you decided that it's not working, that social media is not working? If networking or relationship building is a thing, and the thing that you're wanting to do isn't showing results, be honest, and you can tell me in the comments, how many of you in the past or now have decided that something's not working because you don't see the evidence for it? Right? So Ronald's like, yes, but I know it takes time, 100%, right? And so that's something that is always important to remember, is that to see the results, number one, you have to sit in the discomfort, right? You have to sit in discomfort and work through discomfort to get to the results. So if you're posting on social media and you're like, social media is my plan, and nobody's engaging and nobody's interacting, and you're looking for that as evidence that it's working, and you don't see it, you're going to bail. You're going to say, I'm done, right? And so you're never going to give any strategy enough time to actually get to the results, right? What you're doing is you're trying to sidestep around the discomfort. Does that make sense? When you're bailing, when you're like, oh, I'm looking for evidence that it's working and I don't see the evidence that it's working, and so therefore I'm going to stop. What you're doing is saying, I feel uncomfortable that I'm not seeing the results that I want, and so I'm going to try to avoid that discomfort by doing something else. I'm going to hop over to another strategy, or I'm going to do another thing. And what you're trying to do is walk around the discomfort. The only way to get to the results is to walk through the discomfort, right? You actually have to work through it, walk through it, meaning you have to sit in it a while. You have to sit in not seeing results. You have to sit in not knowing the outcome. You have to sit in not knowing exactly how this strategy is going to get you to the outcome, right? You have to sit with the not knowing and with the discomfort in order to see it through to get to the results. Does that make sense? So stop looking for evidence, right? Stop looking for evidence if it's working or not. That's not your job. Your job is to show up at a level of somebody who already has the results. So if I've decided that social media is the way I'm going to get a client, and Facebook Lives, let me stick with Facebook Lives, right? Let's say that I'm going to be on Facebook Live and I'm going live every single day on Facebook Live is the way I'm going to grow my business. It's the way I'm going to get clients. It's the way, right? This is the way, right? But people aren't logging on in the first week or whatever, right? I have to sit in that discomfort and just keep showing up, because Rita, with a 7-figure business, what does she do? She shows up on Facebook Live every day. She has no concern if people log on or participate or not. She has a message, she shares it, and she keeps showing up, right? Also, there is a lot of times where something is working and you don't see evidence, right? And it's working. So there'll be people who call me and say, Rita, I want to have a clarity call with you. And I'll be like, cool, I've never heard your name before. Nice to meet you. How did you find out about me? And they'll be like, well, I read every single one of your emails, or I look at every post you do, or I hop on every Facebook Live, but I never comment. I never respond back. I never, right? So there's some people, when I show up consistently every single week, right? No matter what the evidence is that I'm seeing, if people are watching, there are people watching, right? And there are people who are being impacted, even if I don't know it. So that's my number one thing for you, right? And we're going to tie into how this affects going all in on your business, but you need to stop looking for the evidence. So Christine says, I'm a queen of strategy hopping, changing that now. Yes, strategy hopping is going to be the thing that just downplays it, right? Like your goal is to learn how to be uncomfortable and sit in discomfort, right? And the way that you do that, guys, the way that you do that, it's like people are like, how, Rita, how? It's very uncomfortable when I'm doing something and it looks like it's not working, right? Well, if you 100% believed that the thing would work, the thing that you're doing, the strategy you're employing, the action you're taking, whatever it is, if you look at me leaning in, I'm like, guys, listen to me, look into my eyes, right? If you 100% believed that the result was coming. So Christine, like, I'm just going to make up a result for you guys. Let's say 6 figures in your business is your result. Okay. If you, what are you looking into my eyes? If you 100% believed that you were going to make 6 figures in your business, right? And you knew that that was coming, you didn't know when, and you weren't sure about how, but you 100% believe that 6 figures is coming in your business, you would be able to stick with your strategy and be totally fine with it, right? Because you're like, well, I know the 6 figures are coming. So like, I can just keep showing up on these Facebook Lives all the time because I'm 100% certain that it's coming. So when we start looking for evidence that something is working, and then we bail on it when it looks like it's not, right? And we hop around to strategies, it's because we don't actually believe the thing is going to work. Right? So if posting on social media is your strategy to get a client and you're like, oh, I'm not getting interaction, people aren't sharing, I don't think this is working, it's because you don't believe it's going to work, right? And so that's why you need the evidence. You need the evidence to prove to you that it's going to work. If you have a program, I see this with people who launch programs all the time, courses, retreats, group coaching programs. If you 100% knew that that would fill, and that would be fine, and that program's going to work out and everything's going to be okay, right? Then you would not go, oh, no one's signing up for this program, maybe it's the program, I need to create a whole new program. Does that make sense? Like, I see people doing that all the time, like, oh, people must not want to sign up for this program, I've talked about it for a week, nobody's signing up, so I think I'm just going to start a new program, right? And they don't keep launching that same program over and over and talking about it enough and like building up excitement for it that, you know, people want to sign up. And so you see that sometimes even with ones that might be a little successful. Maybe you launch a group a group coaching program and like 10 people sign up for it, right? And you're like, oh, I really wanted 50. So I guess this isn't a good program. And you run the 10 people through it. You're like, but the next time I'm going to create a different program that'll get 50 people, right? Instead of just launching the same program again and talking about it over and over and building up the awareness and building up, because it's hard to sit in the discomfort of not having the results that you want, right? But the reason you can't sit in the discomfort is because you don't believe it's going to work. And what happens if you don't believe? It's not going to work because our thoughts create our reality, right? Christine says, yes, thank you, Rita. Exactly what I needed to hear. Show up as the person who already has everything I want because I know what I want is coming. Yes, it's coming. It's inevitable. It's on its way to you, right? But, and I'll get to the, I got to write this down or I'm going to forget to talk about all these comments that you guys are bringing up. I'm like, all right, I'll talk about energy level in a minute. But right now we're talking about belief. So do you guys see that? Do you guys see that the reason that you need to look for evidence that something is working is because you don't believe it? And if you don't believe in the ultimate success, right? So if you're like, oh, well, again, with a program, I launch a program and it doesn't fill the way I want or sell the way I want or fill it all, it must be the program. So now I'm going to scrap that into a whole new program. Or people aren't engaging on my newsletter. People must not like newsletters. I'm going to stop sending a newsletter. Or people aren't engaging in my Facebook group. It must be the Facebook group. I'm going to stop Facebook. Or people aren't really following me on Instagram and Instagram's not working. And so I'm going to bail on Instagram and go to something else, right? Like, the reason that you're looking for the evidence that something's working is because you already don't believe Instagram is going to work. You already don't believe people are going to want to fill up your group coaching program. You already, right, believe people aren't going to want to buy X, Y, and Z, or people aren't going to love your Facebook group, or people, that's what's going on in the back of your mind. You may not know it, and maybe on a more subconscious level, right? So do you see that the very first thing that you need to do to go all in on your business is to believe? You have to believe 100%. You have to eat it, dream it, sleep it, believe it, that it's coming. but you don't have to know when or how, right? I know 7 figures is on its way to me. I don't know when, I don't know how, right? Okay, so my mastermind group, guys, if you have not applied for my mastermind group yet and you've been thinking about it, do it. I have about 5 spots open. This is it's a 10-person mastermind group. I have been full every single renewal of this round. I've been full. I have 5 open spots. The mastermind group starts in August at 5 open spots, okay? It starts in August, guys. It's July 22nd. It's completely and totally inevitable that this group is going to be full. I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know where the people are coming from. I don't have any, I have 1 or 2 warm leads that might take a spot, but other than that, I don't. And right, but I don't need to know how or when that group is going to fill. But one thing that's true is I'm 100% certain that it will. So that allows me, right, the ability to do the uncomfortable things and to sit in discomfort to make that happen. Does that make sense? I can sit in discomfort. I can do this to make it happen because I know it's going to happen. So it doesn't matter if that one thing that I do, like a Facebook Live like this, doesn't get somebody interested in the mastermind. It doesn't matter if something else that I do doesn't result with somebody signing up for the mastermind. I don't need the evidence that that thing is going to be what brings me the person for the mastermind because I'm not attached to how that person comes to me. I just know that person's coming to me. Does that make sense? Ronald's like, love it. I'm writing down. It is coming on my goal board. It's on its way. It's completely and totally inevitable. It's on its way. It's happening right now. I don't need to know when. I don't need to know how. I can let go of that, right? That letting go of the how, letting go of the when, even to a certain extent, right, allows you to relax in to being uncomfortable. Now, it's never fun to be uncomfortable. I'm not saying it's easy, right? It's not the easiest thing you've ever done being uncomfortable because building a business is not the easiest thing you'll ever do, right? So yes, building a business can be fun and it can feel simple and it can happen with ease, but like, let's be honest, right? It's also going to feel uncomfortable and you're going to have to learn how to sit in discomfort. And that's fine because building a business isn't easy, right? Like, let's be honest, building a business is not easy, right? And so you're going to have these moments, but you have to, so to go all in on your business, the first thing you have to do is 100% believe in the thing that you're doing, the thing that you're selling, the thing that you're wanting to do, whatever the thing is, you have to 100% believe in it, okay? So I'm going to tell you a story about a client of mine. I don't know what I did with it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Yeah, here it is. So weird. Okay. Anyway, my client, I'm trying to decide if I want to tell you this story right now. Okay. All right. First of all, I want to know something that you guys are going. What is something that you want to go all in on? Tell me that right now. Like, do you want to be fully booked? Do you just want one client? Is there a group program that you're trying to launch? Is there a course? Are you launching a podcast? Like, in the comments on replay, tell me something that you're trying to go all in on. If you're listening to the podcast, say it out loud, pretend I can hear you, right? And then email me and let me know, right, at rita@ritamademedoit.com, what the thing is that you're going all in on. But I want you to ask yourself, do I really 100% believe in that thing? Okay, so Christine says fully booked coaching business. I want a fully booked coaching business. So Christine, I would ask you, and you don't have to, you can tap out, you don't have to participate, right? Do you, if I were to ask you and you were truthfully going to answer, do you 100% believe that that is inevitable, that you will be fully booked with a waiting list? Or is there something that makes you go, like I'm not 100% on that. Like I'm not really believing that. Anything there? I know there's a lag, so I'm waiting, right? And for everybody else listening and not typing, the thing that you want, okay, so Ronald says, I want to make $5,000 a month and be fully booked. Okay, I ask you, Ronald, do you really 100% believe, or is there a little bit of you that's like, yeah, I don't know that that's going to happen. Like, I don't really believe that. I'm not sure if I'm 100%. So if you're not 100%, it's not 100% going to happen. Does that make sense? So we have to help tap you into 100%. And I'm going to tell you how you can do that, right? But just know, first of all, you have to be committed, right? To go all in on your business. Ronald's like, my issue is I keep thinking, how am I going to do this? Meaning you think there has to be a set way for it to happen. And so every time then that set way that you think it's going to happen doesn't look like it's working, you're going to bail, and it's never going to give you enough time to actually see it work, right? Or for you to show up. So let me stop real quick and talk about the energy levels. Oh my gosh, you guys get me to talk about so many things. I love it. But like, I'm totally off my, if I was a news anchor, I'd be like, totally off script. But all right. So when you're unattached from the outcome, right? And you're like, I don't know when this thing is going to happen. I don't know when I'm going to make $5,000 a month. I don't know when I'm going to be fully booked with a waiting list, but I know I am. It's a done deal. I'm totally going to have a fully booked coaching practice, says Christine, right? Like totally going to have a fully booked coaching practice. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it's happening. Okay. So then your job is to show up as somebody that already has a fully booked coaching list practice, right? Meaning, how would that person be thinking? How would they react to situations, right? Like I just had a client the other day, she lost a client. Okay, so a client lost a big client who's actually trying to breach their contract, right? So a client lost a client and she's upset, right? But I said, her thing is like 7 figures. And I said, well, what would a 7-figure business owner with a thriving, successful business, how would they react to this? How would they, and she was like, they wouldn't even care. Like, it would just be like, pass it on to the legal department. Like, don't even give it a second thought. I'm like, then that's how you have to show up, right? So your job is to show up as the person that already has the thing you want. So for Christine, she needs to show up as a person with a fully booked coaching practice, right? Meaning, how does that person, what does she do every day? How is she reacting every day? She's not working around the clock, scrambling, trying to get a client, right? Because she knows, oh, I already have a fully booked coaching practice and there are people on the wait list. So she's prioritizing her health. She's prioritizing whatever. She's doing these other things, right? She's taking bold risks. She's, emailing people saying, like for me, I email people directly and just say, I would love to have you in my mastermind group. A couple of people have gotten that email. There are a couple more that are going to get it, right? I would love to have you in my mastermind group. I think you are a perfect fit for me. And this is why, right? Like Rita with a fully booked 7-figure, like whatever business, right? Is not concerned at all, or I don't take it personally at all if somebody says no, right? Like, but Rita not at that level might be worried about rejection, might be worried about failure, might be worried about other people's opinions, right? So the words I use, the language I use. So for Christine, she has to show up as the person that already has a fully booked coaching list, meaning she needs to say, how would that Christine, how would fully booked Christine react? What would fully booked Christine do if she didn't see evidence that the strategy was working? What would fully booked Christine do in response to this situation? What would fully booked Christine do to get, right, people eyes over here on the thing that she wants, right? If somebody asks for a discount, what would fully booked with a waiting list Christine do? Does that make sense? So the reason that it's important to show up as if you already have the results you want is that's the only way you're going to find them, right? So if the results that you want are way up on a high level, and you're kind of operating down here, what happens? Your results just pass you. They keep passing you by, right? They keep going overhead. They keep missing you, right? For you to smack into the results that you want, you have to be at their same level, right? You have to be at that level. So you have to show up there, and that's how you hit them. Otherwise, you're just going to keep missing them. You can't be down here and get results up here. You can't be operating as like, I don't think I'm a 6-figure business owner. I'm not sure if my 6 figures is ever going to come. I don't know if this is going to happen, and smack into 6 figures. It just doesn't work like that, right? You have to already be operating from the place of course it's inevitable, and I'm showing up as the 6-figure business owner already. I'm making decisions and I'm doing things as a 6-figure business owner would do. That's how you're going to get the 6 figures, okay? I'm changing my name to Fully Booked Christine. Yes, FBK, Fully Booked Christine, right? And I'm gonna talk about going fully booked and getting a waiting list on in the future. But so for you to be committed to you have to commit to your strategy. You have to commit to your plan. You have to commit to being the person, right, that already has the result you want, so you can work through discomfort to get to the result. Commitment is non-negotiable for moving through the discomfort, right? Like it's a non-negotiable. But you have to deeply believe in the thing that you're going after. You have to deeply believe in that end result or the action that you're taking, so that you have to believe in it and believe in the result. Okay, does that make sense? You have to believe in it. You have to believe in the result. But how does that happen? Okay, so now we know to go all in, one thing you have to do is fully believe that the results is done. It's completely and totally inevitable. It's happening. Okay, it's going to be fine. And number two is you have to then show up as the person who already has the things that you're trying to go after. That's the only way you're going to attract them, right? Like attracts like. You just can't attract things that are different energy. All right. So to tell you the piece that ties it all together, I'm going to tell you about my client. She's not my client currently. She was my client. And she was with me for 6 months. She quit her job. She started her business. Okay. And what I'm showing you by this story is that it's not just ideas and strategy. So we've talked about ideas, we've talked about strategy, right? But it's not ideas and strategy that brings success. As we just said, it's ideas and strategy and consistent action that brings success, okay? So by taking one step forward towards something you want, one step, just one full step, right? You're telling the universe, you're telling God, you're telling the higher power, whatever you believe in, right? That you are invested. But more importantly, when you actually take a step and an action towards the thing that you want, you're telling yourself that you're invested, right? How many of you have heard a quote from the Bible? There's a quote from the Bible that says, faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. And there's an African proverb, which is, you have to walk while you pray. Meaning, yes, prayer is important and faith is important, but that doesn't mean anything if you're not taking action, right? Faith without works, faith without action is dead. Right? You have to walk while you pray. Like you have to do stuff while you're praying, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So the faith, the belief, all of that, that's great. That's the first step. You have to 100% believe it's going to happen. But then you have to add action to it, and you have to add consistent action to it. And it's the action through the discomfort, through the things you've picked, right? So my client that I'm telling you about, she contacted me one day. She saw me on a Facebook Live. It was a really random story. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but I didn't know her. And she saw me on a Facebook Live and she liked what she had heard. And she messaged me saying, hey, I want to start my own business. I'm ready. I'm ready to go all in. She had started before. She had tried to start her own business before. She had taken steps towards it, got overwhelmed, wasn't sure it was going to work. Like just didn't see it through, stayed at her full-time job, right? As we started talking about this dream that she had, this vision that she had for her business, her excitement really built, but so did her concern. So on the clarity call, she was like, but I don't know, is it going to work, right? Like, could I really replace my full-time income? Can I really replace my full-time income with this business? You know, are people even going to want what I'm offering? How many of you have ever felt any of these things? Say yes in the comments if you've ever felt any of these, right? Is it going to work? Can I build a business that will replace my income? Are people going to want what I'm offering? Are people going to pay? Are they going to pay the rates that I set for this? How can it all work? Like, can I really do this, right? Can I really do it? How many of you have had thoughts like that before, right? Well, the client that I was talking to on the call, she had those thoughts. And she, at the end of it, she said, you know what? There's only one way to answer those questions. And I told her, there's only one way. What way do you think that is, right? What way do you think it is that will answer those questions? Is just do it. You can't know before you do it, right? The only way to know if people are going to pay for what you do is to offer it at the prices that you want to charge, right? The only way that you can know if you're going to replace your full-time income is to attempt to replace your full-time income, right? The only way you're going to know is by doing the thing, right? Is to lean into the discomfort and take action. And to do that, you need support. And you need the right kind of support that really understands, right? Strategy is important. You guys, now maybe you're starting to see why I always say, yes, I create strategy with my clients. But I always take them back to these mindset pieces. And there are a lot of coaches that have sales strategies and sales plans and sales masterminds and this and that. And you're in these programs and they're great and they're wonderful. And I'm not saying that they're not, right? Of course, there are some that aren't, but like there are some great programs. But if they're not focusing you every single minute of the day on, are you 100% belief? Do you really believe that this could happen? Like talk to me about all of this other stuff, right? Those actions will feel like they're never working, which is why you feel like it doesn't matter what program I take or what I do or what I learn, it's just not working, right? We get in our own way time and time again, right? So she knew, look, I can lean into this discomfort if I have your support. So I am ready to go all in. And I asked her to define what going all in means for her business. So I'm curious, and I would ask you the same thing. You don't have to share it here, but if you want to share it in the comments, I'd love it. Otherwise, just jot it down on a piece of paper. What does going all in right now on your business mean? And so I know that a lot of people have seen the cryptic posts about going all in. Like, are you all in? Do you want to be all in? Even though it says there's no time commitment, there's no money commitment. I think right now in the world we live in with COVID-19 and schedules up in the air and all of this stuff, there is a little bit more fear around all in, right? And people have this definition that all in means time consuming, every minute, all the things, right? And that's not true at all. All in can mean whatever. All in for one of my clients is working 10 hours a week. All in is I work 10 hours a week and I have the rest of the time with my family. And I make the money I want and I do the things I do and I work 10 hours a week and I delegate the rest and I have fun and I play. Like, what does going all in on your business mean to you? Right? There is no set definition. So when I say, are you ready to go all in? Just know it can be whatever you want that to be. Right? Going all in does not have to look like the traditional, it's going to be all time consuming and all comprehensive. In fact, it's almost the opposite, right? So for my client, when I said, okay, cool, you just said you're ready to go all in, what does that mean? She said, hiring you is going all in. If I hire you for 6 months, that means I'm committed. I'm going all in. And I'm paying in full. So I'm paying in full. I don't want to, have to doubt this or have to whatever. So she paid me in full. She hired me for 6 months. Then she said, resigning from my full-time job is going all in. I want to quit my full-time job and I want to start immediately. I want to schedule the onboarding right away. And she scheduled her onboarding in 2 days. Those were all steps. Those were all signs to the universe, to God, and to herself that she believed in what she was doing and that she was fully committed. And that she fully believed in the results, right? A lot of times the reason people won't hire coaches or invest in programs is they don't actually believe they're going to make the money back, right? They're like, and it's not that you need to make the money back tit for tat, right? I'm not saying that. Like, you eventually make money back in your investments. That's what an investment is, right? But when you're the kind of person that won't take action until you see the plan or the results, you also won't make an investment until you see that you can cover that investment. But that's not an investment. An investment is money in before you know that you're going to have the money recouped from that investment. It's trusting that you will, trusting that that will work out, right? And that can be really scary. So all of these were signs to the universe that my client, her name was Jennifer, that she believed in herself, right? And she believed in what was going to happen. So on her onboarding session, she said, you know what? I want to get my first client by the end of 3 months. Like, I'm just deciding I'm going to have a client by the end of 3 months. I'm giving myself 3 months to really build my business, even though we had 6, right? She's like, I'm giving myself 3 months to reach some of these first goals. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but I've got you for support and I'm ready to go. So we created a plan for her to resign from her job because that was part of her going all in, right? We created a plan for her to resign from her job. So this is what I mean about full faith and belief, guys, and being unattached and being detached, whatever it is, from how it all happens, okay? 6 days later, Jennifer goes into her office with her resignation letter, like wherever it was, in her purse, in her hand, in a briefcase, I don't know. 6 days later, she goes into her job. She's ready to resign, okay? She's ready to resign. But she gets called into the human resources office first. So they call her into human resources and they say, hey, we've had a restructure of the company. Like, here's what's happening. I guess they were getting bought out, but you know how it goes, right? A company buys out another company and they bring in all their people and all of the stuff. Anyway, they laid out this whole restructuring plan and her position had been eliminated and they gave her severance. They had to let her go. They gave her severance, guys. They gave her 3 months severance. They gave her 3 months severance. How long had she determined she was going to give herself before seeing results in her business? Was 3 months, right? And she was going to resign from her job and she knew it was going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to have the income in, right? But I'm ready to go all in. I'm ready to do it. And then her job was like, cool, also here's 3 months severance, right? Like, and she just, like, no clue. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, the 3 months, actually the severance exceeded slightly the 3 months for her self-imposed deadline. She showed up at work that day, ready to resign and ready to sacrifice income while she launched her business. And she got rewarded for that bold action, right? With a severance, like ensuring, right, that not only now that she had the wide open schedule to build her business, right, but she also had the income, right? She also had income for that time. She was getting paid to do it. So she showed up to work with that mindset, right? Now, it's important to know hold on, if you're listening, it's very important to know what I'm not saying. I am not saying that the only way to go all in on your business is to quit your job. Rita is not saying that. Rita is not making you do that. Okay. That's no, like that's not the only way to go in all on your business. I am not telling you to quit your business. And I am also not guaranteeing that if you do, you're going to get paid for it, that you're going to get a severance or you're going to get rewarded. Okay. But what I am saying is that success comes from a decision, right? A decision that has to be backed by belief, right? You can't make a decision based on non-belief. That's a fear-based decision. And no successful business has ever been built from a place of fear. No successful business has ever, ever, ever been built from a place of fear, right? So you have to make your decisions from a place of faith and from a place of belief. So when you're making a decision to do something or not do something, or take an action or not take an action, ask, am I making it from a place of faith and belief, or from doubt and scarcity and fear? Okay. So Jennifer went all in on her business the moment that she decided that it would be successful. She's just like, it's completely and totally inevitable that I'm getting my first client in 3 months. Like, it's completely and totally inevitable that overall this business is going to be successful. I don't know exactly when. I'm going to create a strategy and a timeline. I don't know how, but I'm not attached to it. It could happen faster. It might happen a little longer. It's going to happen. I know it, so I can take steps and actions that back that up. Okay. She invested in herself by taking actions that aligned with the decision that came from that place of faith and belief. So do you want to change your life? Do you want to change your business? Do you want to change something? You have to first decide. You have to first decide that what you want is a done deal. You have to decide to do it, and you have to decide that what you want is a done deal, and then you have to back it, right? You have to back it with action. And so again, if you ask anybody who lives this life that they love, right, like what they did to get there, it's never going to be based off fear-based decisions, right? So that's what the all-in event. Now I'm going to tell you a little more, right? I'm giving you a little more about what allows you to even do that, right? Next level. So now we know you have to go all in on your business, you have to define what does going all in mean to you, so you're clear on it, right? Then you have to believe in those things 100%, in the success, in the outcome, in you 100%, right? 100, not even, you can't feel the failure even a little bit. You have to feel 100% invested. So make sure that the things that you're looking at, you're 100% certain of them, right? So you have to be certain in that success. Then you decide that things will be successful. Like if you want a new rate, people are like, well, Rita, how do I raise my rates and then get them to work? You just decide. I'm deciding that I'm raising my rates and that they're going to work. You just make a decision. But if you haven't decided, if you're like, I don't know, will they work? They might work. I don't know. I could try it. I could see. If they don't work, maybe I'll like come back to something. You haven't decided, and so it's not going to work. Does that make sense? So the all-in event, right? And I'm going to tell you again, how can you like really root that decision in a minute. But the all-in event that's happening on July 26th, if you're not registered for it, right, I'll put the link in the comments. It's pinned to the top of the group. It's ritamademedoit.lpages.co/I'm-all-in. This is a free event, no money, no time commitments, nothing. But everything you're going to learn in the event is going to be this. It's going to help you, whatever your definition of going all in on your business is. It could be working less right now to spend more time with your kids, or to be able to homeschool them, or to be able to do whatever, right? Like whatever that definition is, this free event is going to teach you all of the things you need to know about what it means to go all in and how to do the things that I'm talking about right now. So trust yourself to sit in discomfort. And that's what we get to, the missing piece, the cement. Okay. So all of these things about belief and decision and taking action and leaning into discomfort and working through discomfort to get to whatever, like how is it ultimately that you can do that? It's trust. It's trust in you. So the all-in event is going to teach you how to develop this trust in you, right? Because this is where it all ties back to. It's like a thread. And if I kept pulling at the thread, we would eventually get to trust. The reason that people don't 100% believe, the reason that people then don't back that up with the actions and make the decisions and all of that, is they don't trust. But what do they not trust? They don't trust themselves to actually take whatever actions are happening or coming their way. Or if they trust themselves to take the actions, they don't trust themselves to navigate whatever results from taking the action. Okay, so they don't trust themselves to navigate whatever results from taking the action. If you 100% trusted yourself to do the things and to navigate successfully and to your best interest, whatever resulted from doing the thing, you would have no trouble 100% believing and deciding to do the thing. Is that true? Rodalyn says, okay, I'm in. Oh, I love it. Good. I love it. The all-in event's gonna be it's so fun. Every year it's so fun. Every year. I only did it last year. It was so much fun. But it's already fun this year. It's a done deal. It's already fun, right? So are you guys seeing what I'm saying about the trust, right? You have to trust in yourself to take actions, and then you have to trust in yourself, right, to navigate whatever results from those actions. This is why I was talking about this with a client, an old date coaching client, actually, the other day. Okay, so in dating, if you're single, two for time, here is how this shows up. Let's say that you were in a relationship and somebody really hurt you and broke your heart, and when the relationship ended, you were down and out. You cried in bed for a month, you lost some friends, maybe like you ended up losing your job, or you quit your job, or just whatever. You got really unhealthy. You just did not navigate the breakup well. Okay, so let's say you were 20-something years old and a breakup killed you, and you didn't navigate it well at all, and it derailed your life. Okay, now cut to 30-something and you're still not in a relationship, right? And you're like, no, I just don't want a relationship. I can't find the right guy. It's always pinned to the trust, right? And what it is you're fine with being in a relationship. You don't trust yourself to navigate it if it doesn't work out, right? Because somewhere in your subconscious, it's remembering that time that the relationship didn't work out and you didn't navigate it well, right? And it derailed your life. And so you're holding on to that, which is, so the minute that I can make people say, wait, we can trust you now at 30-something to not derail your life because of a breakup. And we find all of the reasons why, right? Like you're not that person that you were in your 20s, and you have support that you didn't have, and you have knowledge that you did. Here's why this won't be the same way that it was, right? Here is why this won't be the same way that it was. People can tap into that trust and be like, oh, I do trust myself to navigate whatever results. So I can really take this action in an all-in way, because whatever happens from it, right, I'm going to be able to work it out. So like when I launch people are like, Rita, how do you go all in on launching your programs, for example? Like you are just in, like you're like, because I'm sure the program is going to be successful. I don't know when, I don't know how. Could be that round, it could be another round, right? I trust myself to show up at the level of somebody who already has the results that I want and do the things that I want to do. But I also trust that if the results don't come, if not a single person registers for that program, I can navigate those results. I can navigate them financially. I can navigate them personally. I can navigate them from a business strategy standpoint, right? Because I have knowledge, I have experience, and I have support. I have a coach I love. I have a mastermind group I'm in, right? I don't think there's been a minute in my business that I have not had a coach. Not a minute. I've had 2 different coaches. My starter coach, and then I upgraded, right, to a different kind of coach. And I've been with that coach now for 3 or 4 years, and I'm in a mastermind group with her and other people that were private clients of hers. And like, I can't imagine not having a coach for a minute in my business. Like that's a non-negotiable for me, right? Because it's the support that is so crucial, right, for all of these pieces. Because to trust yourself to navigate whatever results means you have to say, I have support, I have these resources, I have this thing, I have this ability. Like, I know my business is going to make 7 figures. It's completely and totally inevitable that it's going to make 7 figures. I don't know when, I don't know how, right? But I also know that no matter what happens in my business, I can navigate it, right? I have good months, bad months, money coming in, money coming out, whatever. Like, I'll navigate it. I'll figure it out. I always say, even if I have to go back and work at Container Store again, I can figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be fine. And I also have family and support, and I have my coach, and I have all of this stuff. So it's like, so do you see what I'm saying? All of the stuff we talked about needing to go all in, it all really stems from trust. Trust in your ability to do the things, right? But also trust in your ability to navigate whatever happens from doing the things. And often what is stopping people is there's something buried where they're not quite in touch with it that says, I don't actually trust you to navigate this well. If people don't show up on your Facebook Live, I don't trust you to actually navigate that. You're going to like sit on your couch for 2 days and you're going to be mad and you're going to be upset and you're going to say this is stupid, and then you're going to cancel plans with your friend and blah, blah, blah. Like that's going on, right? Or like, oh my gosh, no, Jane Doe, I don't want you to launch this group coaching program because I don't trust you, Jane. Jane, I don't trust you, Jane. If nobody signs up for it, you're going to cry again for 2 days, and you're going to go into this tailspin for a week or two, and you're not going to work on your business, and then you're not going to have money, and you're not going to pay a bill. Then you're going to have to go back and take that side work you didn't want to take, and you're just going to be mad. And like, so see what I'm saying? Like somewhere there's that happens. So you have to know, do I fully trust myself to show up as if I already have the results? And a lot of that is dependent on, do you trust yourself to navigate whatever happens, right? How many of you can say that you need to work on that trust? And it's an ongoing like exercise to like step into that trust. Does that make sense? That's what the all-in event, the free all-in event is going to do. It's going to help you do it, right? Did you know that 72% of people regret not taking action towards the thing that they want in their life? And this, I feel like the news anchor. This is a statistic from the American Psychological Association. But it's a statistic from the American Psychological Association. 72% of people regret not taking action towards the person that they dreamed of being, right? Towards the person that they dreamed of being. But when you think about it, it's not surprising. When you think about everything that we just talked about, it's not surprising, right? Life-changing decisions, the actions that they require, they're scary, right? They're scary. Going all in, right? So here's like one of the final pieces of going all in. So we know now that going all in is defining what all in means to you. You have to be clear about what that means. Really then believing in the actions and believing in the outcome and believing in the success and believing in you, right? So that you can make decisions from the place of belief and not a place of fear, right? And then you take actions, right, that are in alignment with those decisions. And the reason that you can take those actions is because you trust yourself to do it, or you trust yourself to navigate whatever happens, okay? And the last part of all in is, in addition to knowing what going all in looks like for you and some actions you're going to take, the most important part is knowing what you're not going to do. What you're not going to do, deciding what not to do, is what really allows you to go all in. Hi, Facebook user. If you have not gone to StreamYard.com/Facebook, please do, so I can see your name and know that that's you who commented, or type and let me know who you are. But I see, yes, trust is such a crucial piece. It is the piece. If you don't trust yourself to do the things, or you don't trust yourself to navigate the results, whatever happens, you're never going to be fully in belief, and you're always going to be looking for evidence, and you're always going to bail, and everything we just talked about, right? But this last piece about going all in is really more about deciding what not to do than deciding what you will do. So I'm going to give you an example, right? This is one thing that people always want to go all in on, is the pricing. So they're like, well, Rita, this is what I want to charge. This is my rate. This is what I want to get for my package. This is what I want to get for my hourly. This is what I want to get. This is how much money I want to make, right? What do you believe that going all in is? Going all in is what on that? Like pricing things at that price point, telling people the price, creating marketing that showcases the price maybe. But going all in is also then not giving a discount or a special arrangement to anybody. If you're all in on your pricing, that means you're all in, right? So your container, your boundaries, your rules become, and I don't discount my price. I don't change it, right? Like if I fully, and this goes all back to everything we just talked about. If I fully believed, if I 100% believed that my business was going to be successful, right? And it could come from charging this price. It could come from something else, right? But like, I fully believe my business is going to be successful. And I fully believe that this rate is going to be successful, and that this rate is right, and that this rate is whatever, right? And I'm fully in belief of that. And I also trust myself to do the things I need to do to charge this rate, and trust myself to navigate whatever happens from charging this rate. Meaning I might get no, I might get a no thank you, I might get whatever, right? But I trust myself to do it. Then I'm able to set the container that I don't negotiate on that rate. Oh, hi, Jillian. Okay, cool. Oh, girl, I've been following you. I'm so excited for you. Right, but the idea of going all in on your rate means you don't discount it, right? That becomes the non-negotiable. Like if I decide that my rate is X, right? Then that means there's no room for it to be anything else because I've decided this is the price, right? So going all in is about what you don't do. So going all in on your pricing means not agreeing to discounts. It means not agreeing to special arrangements, right? Now, of course, there are exceptions to every rule. Sometimes you can do that. That's the joy of being a business owner. But I mean from a place of fear, right? Like COVID hit and I came up with some special arrangements for some of my clients, right? Because that's what I do for loyal clients and people I love, right? However, like if you're making it from, oh, I think they're not going to sign with me. I think this is too much money. I think they're going to say no. I'm just going to discount. I'm going to tell them they can do it for half, or I'll lower my rate by $100. And there's no rhyme or reason to it or to the arrangement, right? That's a fear-based decision, not a faith-based decision, right? So going all in on your pricing means not agreeing to discounts, not agreeing to special arrangements. Going all in on signing private clients, if you're like, I'm going to be fully booked with a wait list for private clients, means not doing group coaching programs and not doing retreats and not offering workshops and not doing other events. It means the only place I'm calling people to is private coaching. If I'm all in on getting 5 private coaching clients, right, it means for me, the mastermind group, right, I have 5 open spots. Like I said, this is the first time in 3 rounds that I've had this many spots open in my mastermind group. Some of the masterminders have actually moved to private coaching. So I have 5 open spots in my mastermind group, and I'm all in on filling those spots, right? So that means, right, I'm not trying to also sell a workshop and also sell some private coaching spots and also sell. So like you have to know I'm all in on this, and then you sit in the discomfort. Well, it looks like it's not going to happen. And so that's what happens with people who are like, well, I'm going to get private clients and I'm going to be fully booked with a wait list of private clients. And then like the private clients are coming and they're like, I think I'll do this low cost paid workshop, and I think I'll do this low cost group, and I'll do this thing, right? Because they're not all in. So going all in on signing private clients means not in that moment, I don't mean forever, just like not selling other things that are competing, right? Going all in on a social media platform, if you're like, I am all in on Facebook, my Facebook group, and I'm going to make sure my Facebook group works like a well-oiled machine and it's going to bring me the results I want, or I'm going to make sure Facebook business page, whatever, like that it's bringing me it means going all in and not using others, right? So do you see that going all in means more about what you're not going to do than what you're going to do? You can't have 1 foot behind you and 1 foot in front and then expect to get anywhere. Eventually you have to lift up that back foot, right, and put it with a front foot so that you're going all in. So you can't say, I'm going to raise my rates, but also I'm going to like agree to my lower, older pricing over here when I feel scared, or I'm not thinking I'm going to sign a client, or I think someone's going to say no, or whatever. So I'm just going to be over here. No, like eventually you have to, the only way to start making the rate you want is to charge the rate that you want. That's it. That's the only way to do it. And you have to hold firm to it, meaning you're going to hear no's, meaning you're going to sit through discomfort. But if you're 100% certain that your business is going to be successful and you are going to sign the right clients and this rate is going to work and attract all the right work and ideal clients that you want, you're going to be fine with the no's because you trust yourself to navigate the no's. And you also trust that you can keep showing up and taking action to get the right clients even while you're hearing no's, right? Because you believe that the right clients are on their way and it's completely and totally inevitable. So you're fine with the no's. You can hear the no's. You're not worried. You're not in scarcity. You're in abundance. You know they're on their way and you're going to get them. Does that all, do you see how it's all tying together? So you have to say no to the way that you've been thinking, actions you've been taking, choices you've been making, how you've been spending your time, right? You have to say no to those things in order to say yes to the things that will allow you to go all in. But that's not comfortable, right? Your brain just wants to keep you safe. That's all your brain wants to do. Your brain just wants to keep you safe. So it pushes you away from the new by flooding you with excuses. So let's say you decide to raise your rates, or you decide to sign up for my mastermind, or you decide to only fill your private coaching spots, or you decide to whatever, right? What's going to happen is your brain is going to have you say things like, well, I don't have the time. I just don't have the time right now. I'm in a million other programs and I have this other thing and your brain is just going to pop all these excuses in. Like the money just isn't there for me to blah, 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 or it's not the right time to XYZ, or I don't know how to blah, 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 whatever those excuses are. We all know them, right? They've all come in, right? So you decide to go all in on something, all in on hiring a coach, all in on getting fully booked with a waiting list, all in on your pricing, all in on a program, all in on whatever. And all of a sudden it's going to be like, well, I don't know how to, it's not the right time to, people aren't going to sign up right now because of COVID, I guess, or like the money's just not there right now for me or for people, or I just don't have the time to because things are kind of crazy and other people don't have the time to, right? All of these excuses. Because you're scared, your brain is trying to keep you away from that decision you just made that's going to be a good decision. It's trying to keep you from going all in. So you have to remind your brain, I got this. I got this. I'm saying no and I can get this because I'm in full belief, right? I am in trust. I am in, all of that, right? Faith and belief and trust, and I trust myself to navigate whatever happens. And here's like the proof that I can do that, right? Like all of that stuff, that's your daily mindset work. That's what you need to do. And that's what I help my clients do every day. That's how you get out of your own way. You're going to want to get in your own way time and time again. So going all in, like I said, looks different for everyone. And part of this all-in event, you're going to define what going all in means to you, okay? So it can feel good to you. But the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, the impatience that going all in stirs up, it's pretty much universal. And so it requires you taking action, right? Like it requires you taking action before you can see results. And that's what makes it universal, right? To feel uncomfortable. I'm going to help you work through that discomfort in the free July 26th event. It doesn't cost a penny. It doesn't require you to be obligated for any specific amount of time. It does require you to take a small step towards your success and declare your belief and your trust in you to navigate whatever by registering. That's it. So you go to Rita Made Me Do It. I'll put the link in the notes. Rita Made Me Do It.lpages, lpages.co/I'm all in, register, and just let yourself have fun. Let yourself trust me, trust you, trust your ability to show up, trust your ability to navigate whatever it takes, right? And to go all in on your dreams. So over the next couple of days, you're going to find out a little more, right, about this July 26th event, right? I'll let you know on Friday. So on Friday, July 26th at 4 p.m. Eastern, Friday, July 26th, 4 p.m. Eastern, I will be going live to tell you all the details. I'll tell you what it is, what you're going to do, the incredible, you don't have to be on that live. You'll get a link to, if you're registered, you'll get a link to the replay. But that's the time I'm going to tell you the incredible story of how July 26th came to be, how this event came to be, what's going to happen, what it means for you, what it means for me, what it means for us as a community, right? So what I want to ask you right now is, if you were able to tap into everything we just said, right? If you 100% believed that the success you want in your business is totally inevitable, if you could detach from it, you don't know when, you don't know how, but you're certain it's going to happen. If you decide it's going to happen, right? I have decided I will be fully booked with a waiting list. I have decided I will make 7 figures in my business. I've decided that I will fill this. I have decided my rates will be that. If you have decided, right, and you've identified what that means you don't do, right? So now you know what you're holding firm to, and you trust yourself to hold firm because you trust yourself to take actions and you trust yourself to navigate whatever happens. Tell me something that you are going to be doing. Oh, thank you, Christine. Christine says, you're awesome, Rita. Thank you for this. What is something you're going all in on? It could be, I'm going all in on working 25 hours a week and making the money I want. I'm going all in on having ideal clients. I'm going all in on the rates that I want. I'm going all in on being fully booked with a waiting list. I'm going all in on signing 1 client. I'm going all in on hiring a coach. I'm going all in on signing up for a program I want. Like, what are you going all in on, right? What are you going to go all in on? I want you to think about that. You might not be able to declare that now, but trust me, spoiler alert, there is going to be a time very, very soon that you need to declare that. So anyway, I wanted to do this like little kind of bonus. If you're listening on the podcast, it's a bonus episode for you about what it really means to go all in, right? On how to go all in, how to do all of this stuff, what it means. Because I think that there's a lot of information out there that going all in means working around the clock, or going all in means quitting your full-time job to be committed over here. Going all in means, and that's not true, right? Going all in is more internal and it's less external. And going all in can really look any way that you want it to look. And it requires all of these crucial components. And that's what the all-in event is really going to help you do. The all-in event is going to help you pave the way, set the path to be able to go all in on the things that you want. So I hope you'll join it. The link again is RitaMadeMeDoIt.lpages, and I'll put it in the comments when I'm done. .co. If somebody wants to cut and paste it there, that'd be great. /I'm all in. So readitmademedoit.lpages.co/I'm-all-in. Doesn't cost you a penny. There are no time commitments. It does not cost you a penny. There are no specific time commitments. You just have to trust yourself. You have to trust me, right? And you have to be excited. You have to be ready and really believe that you can do anything or navigate whatever this ends up being to your success, okay? All right. I'll see you guys, trust me, later this week. Friday at 4. If you can join me, join me. Otherwise, watch the replay. If you're registering for the July 26th event, declare that. If you've already registered, declare that. Ronald's like, I like deciding what not to do. I think that may help me. Yes, because saying yes to something means saying no to other things, right? If I say yes to something, I have to say no to other things. You have to have both feet in front, Ronald, right? So go ahead and decide what you're not going to do, right? Based on what you want to achieve. Those are your boundaries. Those are your containers. And we're going to be doing a lot over the next 2 weeks, guys. So stay tuned. All right, I got to go. Have a good day. I'll talk to you all soon. If you're listening to the podcast, I will catch you next week on another episode of the Rita Made Me Do It show. Take care, everybody. Bye.